welcome to another episode of Shooting
the Shit with Rachael
and Neal Young. So we're talking all things real estate photography business growth, mindset, and getting it done. Here come your favorite true entrepreneurs, Rachael and Neal Young, shooting the shit.
I have a ferret on the podcast. Like if we're kind of in a slump, like what kind of things do you do?
Talking about a boob light.
Straddling a power line.
Nice photo.
Ooh, I need that.
I'm like red right now because I'm embarrassed. I go like this. I love it.
Come in.
Sure, use your podcast voice.
You know, over here, I'm pitting out.
Drone's like flipping to the ground.
That's a great callback.
Chit-chatting.
Is that what you call that?
Hey!
Hey! No, are you eating dinner? Oh, what do you got there, Neal? What is that? Is that tapioca? Neal is officially old. Oh, and with, oh my gosh. And welcome to Shooting the Shit.
Bringing you
Rachael
back
and
to
Neal.
episode 1.
That's a great callback. Is that what you call that? Hey! So Neal was in improv and acting and whatnot, and he has like these terms that he's been using, like banter. I mean, I know what banter is, but I looked it up just to be sure that I knew what it was. And then he said something about, and that was a good callback when I was talking on the first episode when I was talking about my my 40s shirt, like whatever it was. Anyways,
Yeah.
I asked him, I'm like, what is that?
It's used a lot in stand-up comedy, but most comics know what it is. But a callback is basically you'll do a bit about something. So let's say I did a bit about tapioca, which is delicious. And then, they went on, they did the rest of their show. And then at the end, they tie in something about tapioca again into what they were talking about in this new bit. And that's called a callback. And it's kind of like, oh, nice. It's like, hit the top hat kind of thing. Nice job. You did a callback. But anyway, she had referred back at the end to something funny she had said before. I made a new funny about it. And I said, ooh, nice callback. So anyway, and later she was like, hey, by the way, no idea what that meant.
I kind of figured I knew what it meant, but I was like,
gotcha.
Some term. Didn't know it had a name. So thank you for educating us on that.
Yeah. I mean,
random knowledge.
I didn't even realize I had done it until after you said it. I'm like, oh yeah, right. But anyway, welcome back to Shooting
the Shit with Rachael
and Neal.
Thank you guys for joining us once again. So today we're going to talk about the power of social media and how important it can be to help your business grow. There is so much benefit in having a social media presence. It can help you to get new leads, to stay in touch with your clients, and to network with other professionals in your industry. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to dive into that today. I'm excited. This is like my favorite area. I love social media. So
and this is Rachel's, this is going to be her show on this one, really. She's the expert here. I've been diving in more and more into it myself and for my clients as well, just because I've seen the value of it. But really, Rachel's just on point with this. So, and that's actually kind of how we originally connected, was a lot to do with social. And I actually heard Rachael on a podcast and they were talking about her social media, and I went and checked out her social media, and I loved, because I've always had the same feeling that, like, for myself and for my clients, that they should be tying in more of their own self. And I saw on her social media that, all the cool stuff she was doing with herself in front of the camera, and just a lot of beautiful work on her social media and a lot of interesting content and all this stuff. And so I reached out to Rachael and just was like, hey, I want to pick your brain about some stuff, and it went from there. So without social media, this podcast probably wouldn't ever exist. So there's a starting point. There's definitely power in social media, and I think honestly, it's, even though everybody kind of gets it now, I still feel like it is being undervalued and people don't understand the power really yet, and where it potentially could go is just insane. So we're going to dive into that today. So I'm going to kind of hand it over to Rachael to kind of start driving on this.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, our social media handles, mine is Rachael_Ann_interiors. So it's Rachael, RACHAEL, and interiors. And Neal, yours is
at NRY Photo. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook. My Facebook, I don't focus as much on it, but at NRY Photo. And then on TikTok, you can find me Neal Young O.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. So social media can be any form, right? Like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest. Pinterest is very underutilized, something that I've been thinking more and more about diving into that area. pretty cool spot to be. And they've really upped their game. So, but today we're going to mostly talk about Instagram, and this can also be applied to Facebook as well, because a lot of the same features like stories, reels, all that stuff is kind of on both platforms. So the first thing I want to talk about is what you have on your social media. So for me, I have a lifestyle brand that I've created on my social media. And this kind of came about by accident about a year ago, year and a half ago. I have a social media manager who I started working with about a year and a half ago. And she suggested, hey, Rachel, why don't you send me more pictures of you? Like, it's great to have pictures of houses, but let's do more pictures of you. And I was like, okay. So I started setting up my camera at the job on my tripod with a timer and like posing and taking a picture of myself. Like, that's how it started. And that worked for a little bit. Then I started collaborating with another photographer, and we would shoot each other and then just trade cards. So I'd edit my photos, she'd edit hers, and then we'd have, 3 months worth of content to put on our social media. So that was a great way for me to get photos of myself for free. Just trade. So I'm all about the trades with people. It's amazing how many things, like even like my old hairdresser, we used to trade. I'd do family photos for her and she would, cut my hair for me. It's great. Saved me some money. But let me explain kind of what a lifestyle brand is. So there are a couple different ways to market your products and your services. So one is saying, I shoot pictures of houses. I sell real estate photography, right? And that's all you post. You just say, get good pictures of your house. Like, don't do cell phone photos. It's like very in your face and very direct, which is fine. It's one way to market. But the other way is through a lifestyle brand. So a lifestyle brand is when you are marketing to your target market through images of your target market actually using that product in real life. So it's like, for example, I always use Nike as an example. So Nike sells clothing, shoes, like all kinds of sports attire, right? So they put all of their attire on athletes, very famous athletes, and then show them playing in the games, show them living in their daily lives, right? And so they're marketing through a lifestyle. It's more showing how they wear the clothes and what they're doing versus just showing a picture of a cool t-shirt, like this t-shirt's for sale. It's like, no, you see that athlete is succeeding. And then when I wear Nike outfits, I feel like I'm an athlete, right? I start associating myself with the marketing that they've been doing and I feel like I'm more fit when I wear Nike clothes. Like, I look so good in it, just like, whoever. I can't think of a girl athlete, but all I can think of is Michael Jordan. There's that. Yeah.
It's interesting that you feel like Michael Jordan.
So I feel like Michael Jordan when I wear Nike. It's great. I can
go
jump
for a
really
couple
high.
slam dunks and
Yeah.
it's good.
Exactly. So there's a lot of power within a lifestyle brand. There's a lot of different ways you can market to, like realtors are obviously our main target market. So for me, what I do photos of me in houses a lot or out in the city. I'm about to do one and have my dog incorporated. So a lot of people can connect and relate to pets and dogs. So it's good to find some things that you have interest in and that your target market also has interest in, and then post pictures of you doing those things. So it's going to make you relatable as well. It's going to add a little bit of that like trust and relatability. And they're going to feel like, oh, I've seen Rachel on social media so much. I feel like I know her. Like, I've heard that from people. They're like, yeah, I feel like I know you, even though we've never talked. And I'm like, wow, that is so powerful.
Yeah. And they buy into you too. Like, they feel invested in you. That they know something about you. And then, they want to work with you. Yeah.
Exactly. So a lifestyle brand can be very powerful. Once you know what it is, you're going to start seeing it everywhere you go. So I would encourage you to really dig in deep into your target market and figure out what their likes and wants and needs are, and then start kind of marketing towards that instead of just selling your products to them. It'll go a lot further. So social media is really good for staying top of mind. So one of the biggest things, there is so much competition out there with real estate photographers. There are like hundreds in your area, I'm sure, as most of you know. And there's a lot of competition because people are trying to get jobs. They're offering discounts. They're saying, if you work with me, we'll do it at this price or whatever. So how do we stay top of mind and be in the forefront when that agent has a listing coming up? We need to be the first one they think of. And a great way to do that is through being present on social media and being consistent with your posts. So showing up on the news feed, showing up on stories, showing up on the reels section as well. So it sounds overwhelming. It sounds like so much to take on, right? But I think starting small and just starting to post a couple times a week consistently, just getting into that habit and then just growing it as you go. Like start adding on little stories that you do, start making little reels that are fun when you're on the job. I mean, we have all of the gear to do this and do it really well, and we have zero excuses, unfortunately. Do you have anything to say on that? Like staying top of mind, Neal?
Yeah, I mean, the more and more I do any kind of research into this, it's really all about being consistent, and whatever that is for you, right? Like not every, a lot of the stuff you'll hear is like, oh, you got to post every single day, and that's overwhelming to a lot of people. But it's also important to, I think it's more important to just do something consistent. If you want to just say, hey, I'm going to post once a week, and then just do that every single week to start build that consistency. There's an expectation that they're going to see something from you, and then to just stay current and always be on their mind, even if you're doing that once a week, that you're starting to kind of build that rapport and you're getting seen, right? And they know you exist. So like you said, that eventually when the time arises that maybe they already have a photographer, but all of a sudden their photographer is unavailable, they took their week vacation or whatever, they've got you in the back of their mind. Oh yeah, there's that, I've seen that person, I think they're in my area. All of a sudden you're getting a call. So yeah, that's why you want to keep on top of it, basically, right?
For sure, for sure. So another aspect to think about is you want to have a cohesive brand, right? So when I say that, I mean you want a brand that looks and feels the same from your website onto your social media. So you want to know what your fonts and your colors are. And then when you make any kind of graphic or something for your social media newsfeed, which I use Canva to create my graphics, super easy. You can save your colors in there. You can save your fonts. And then it's just really easy to plug and play. And there's a lot of templates out there that you can buy to help you kind of get that like same look and feel throughout. So you want to make sure that it looks and feels kind of consistent throughout. I also plan my colors. So the colors that I have on my website, I incorporated into my outfits as well. So I'm not always in green and tan because those are my colors, but I definitely stick to more of like the neutrals and colors that kind of play up to that color palette versus wearing like hot pink and bright yellow. And I mean, occasionally I'll do that, but not very often. It's more like neutral colors, just so my feed looks pretty consistent.
And do you have like a specific, like besides colors, do you have a specific wardrobe for what you wear when you go to shoots, like style wise?
I love clothes. I love fashion. I have a degree in fashion merchandising, so I've always been obsessed with clothes. So yeah, I do. I actually go shopping specifically for these shoots, and I wear them at work as well. But a lot of the stuff that I wear to my branding shoots are like blazers, and I wear jeans, but I'll also wear like some black slacks or something. I just kind of dress it up a little bit more when I do these branding shoots because that is what is representing my brand and my business. And I want to look like a professional. So I pretty much think about what are my agents wearing when they go to a listing appointment? How do they look when they go? And I find the ones that I like. I like to dress a little bit more trendy, like not over the top trendy, but like classic with a touch of trend to it so that it feels kind of fun and current, right? So, and you don't want to show a bunch of cleavage. You don't want to wear too tight of clothes. So just, keep it classy. You are representing your brand. So step it up a notch and just, kind of mimic what you're seeing your agents wear. And that will also inspire them for the outfits that maybe they'll wear to a listing appointment or something.
So no low cut tops for me. Is that what you're saying?
Stop showing your cleavage, please, Neal.
I've gotten a lot of compliments
No one
recently,
wants to see
but
it.
whatever.
It's the chest hair.
It's just a little bit that,
Yes.
in the breeze, I think they like that. When the drone takes off, it's...
Oh my gosh, it's the slow-mo video.
And for those of you not watching the video, I'm doing a little wiggling with my fingers by my chest. It's a beautiful visual.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, I have to get better with wardrobe and stuff like it. Mostly I wear a like a polo, kind of like a button shirt of some kind, but most of the times, especially in the summer, I'm wearing shorts, and I like to wear like Vans, but that's kind of like that's just my style. You know what I mean?
Vibe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my vibe.
I have some agents that literally wear cargo shorts and flip-flops and a t-shirt to meet me every time. And they're like, this is what I wear, even when I meet new clients. And I'm like, you know what? And that's what
Yeah.
People buy India. They
And
like you because that's you. That's what you
exactly,
wear. Like
exactly.
you want to be you. You don't want to
Yes.
dress crazy. And then when you see them in person, you look totally different. Like you can't catfish people, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
I don't dress up super nice for my brand shoots, and then when I go to do a real estate shoot, I'm like never have my hair done. I don't wear makeup. Like the makeup that I wear to my shoots is a little more than what I wear on a daily basis, but not much.
Yeah.
I still look like me. Like I've even had people tell me, if you go to my website, rachaelannphoto.com,
Yep.
Rachael, it's a picture of me in the front. And I just have like a striped t-shirt on and some like whatever jeans, just basic kind of casual jeans on holding my camera. But it's a very like inviting photo that I've had so many compliments on. And people, when they meet me, they're like, wow, you actually look just like your photo in real life. I'm like, oh, thank you. And they're like, and it was
Yeah.
just such an inviting photo. Like I just loved it. So when you're getting your photo taken, you want to really feel good about what you're doing and just have fun with it and relax and laugh.
Yeah.
And however you're feeling on the inside is going to come through in the photos that you take of yourself. So you can smile, like anyone can smile. I'm smiling right now, but like just my mouth. But you need to smile with your whole face and with your eyes. There's a big difference between just smiling and smiling with your eyes.
It's almost a little bit of acting, honestly, when you get your headshot
Mhm.
taken, that you actually want to be imagining a face that you like or something like that. Or like a lot of times when I take portraits of people, and I also do headshot photography, and that's where I got my start, but and it was for actors, so they had the benefit of understanding already. But for regular people, I kind of tell them the same thing. Like when you're doing a photo, like sometimes if they're getting stuck in that rut where they have that frozen
That's
face,
stiff.
I'll tell them
Yeah.
like, try look down at the ground, and then imagine that you're looking up to, you're in high school, and look, and you just sneaking a peek at the guy you got a crush on. Right now, you're gonna see him when you look up. Now look at him, and
That's cute. I'm using that. That's
right,
good.
and you
I
got that
love
little
that.
connection now, and that little
Yep.
sneak peek up, and
And
now there's something
yes.
happening in your eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, because if there isn't something happening in your eyes, you're just gonna look stark, and you're gonna disconnect. We're not, and
Right.
that's the biggest thing. Like when I used to shoot headshots for actors, is you really have to connect. You're looking into the lens at that person. They literally want to see you and get an idea of who you are. And that's why you would get called in. And that's the same thing for everybody. Whatever your job is, if I see that first picture of you and I feel like I can connect you or I get you, we're going to immediately feel that connection and think we start to like you and want to talk to you. So,
Right. Right.
yeah, totally.
So back to my website real quick. So on the bottom of my website, I have a section on the bottom that says find me on Instagram or something. And there's like a banner on the bottom of my most recent Instagram posts. So I know on Wix websites, you can link this. So it's good to have your social media linked to your website so they can go find you somewhere else. Cause it's always fun to see someone's social media, right? So, and all the photos that I have on my website are pretty much on my social media too. So I kind of like cross promote and use them in two places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Works out really well.
That brand consistency too, when they're on your website
Yes.
and there's that picture, and then they see your social and they see that little picture of you and they know it's still you, because that can
Mhm.
be actually very confusing for us. We don't realize we see multiple pictures of ourselves and can tell it's still us, but for somebody who isn't used to seeing your face, they might not know if that's the same person or not. So to have that kind of consistency between the two is good, right?
Yes, definitely. So consistency from your website to your social media to your business cards, right? They all need to look the same and feel the same. So for me, I have my headshot. It's like a picture of me taking a photo. It's a side profile picture, and that is my picture on my business card, and it's my picture on my Instagram handle. And then it's also my email signature picture. My email signature has all the same colors and fonts as my website and my social media. So
Right.
when they see me, they were like, oh yeah, that's Rachael for sure. Like they can easily find you because they've seen that little headshot of you elsewhere. So if you kind of keep them all the same, it's
Right.
easier to connect the dots of who you are.
Yeah. When I've been looking for content or whatever it is, I'm looking to learn about something or whatever, I will begin to notice on YouTube, for example, if I'm watching if Google like how to fix a broken lens, and I see a bunch of videos pop up. If I see that icon that I recognize from a video I watched before, I'm going to be more likely to watch that video versus the other three that I don't recognize that face. So it's important to be
Exactly.
able to tie that across the platform, so that, or if they arbitrarily, randomly kind of stumble across some reel you did that was just popped up to them, and they'll, oh wait, is that the same person from, so yeah, it's good.
So brand recognition, we call that brand recognition. So
Mm.
everybody sees the little Nike swoosh And
Yep.
y'all know it's Nike, right? So whenever they see the RA inside the box or the picture of me holding the camera sideways, like they know that that's my brand. That's me. So yeah, it's very powerful stuff. It's very good.
Cool.
Very good.
Cool,
Okay, let's
cool.
talk about consistency. So how often should you be posting?
Yeah.
Where and what? Because I know it's overwhelming, right? You've got newsfeed, stories, highlights, and now reels. It's like, oh my gosh, can I seriously how am I going to keep up with this? To me, reels has been like so overwhelming and scary because I see all these people making these reels that are super creative. And I'm like, how do they even think of this stuff? Like, I can't think that way. Like, it doesn't work for me. I'm like, I just want to make like a how-to video or something. But you can really do whatever you want. You know,
Yes.
it's like you can follow the trends. There's a lot of prompts out there to to get a cool reel. And there's a lot of like music out there that's trending. So if you kind of jump on that bandwagon of trending music, you can save the audio and then you can record it whenever you want. And you can see like when you pull up reels and you click on the little audio that's playing on that reel that you like, it'll take you into a whole page of reels that were made with just that audio. So you can see all the examples of what everyone
Right.
has done with that same song or that same little voiceover, whatever it is. So it can give you some inspiration there. Um, I've only done a couple of them like that, where there's like you have to mouth the words.
Right.
It's like it's so hard.
It is
It
hard.
took me forever to memorize. I'm like, I'd be a terrible actress. I cannot memorize lines. I have to save my soul. But yeah, so consistency, I would say for my brand, I'll just tell you guys what I do for my brand. So on Instagram and Facebook, I post 3 days a week on my newsfeed. And that's a variety of like graphics that have inspirational quotes or little tips on branding or marketing. And then I also sprinkle in some lifestyle photos of me, like I was telling you about, like in the house. And then I'll do a photo of like a house or like a cool shot that we took, something, right? Having to do with real estate photography. So it's not all real estate photography photos, it's a mix of those three. So it kind of mixes it up and makes it a little more interesting to look at versus just a bunch of pictures of houses. So your news feed should really be clean and on point, and it should be very high end looking and well, not maybe not high end looking, but it needs to be cohesive, right? You need to have clean graphics. The photos should be only be professional photos. You don't want to be posting like poorly lit photos of yourself on there. Make sure they look really nice, they're edited properly. That's almost like the face of your Instagram, right?
Your portfolio,
And then
right?
yeah, kind of like your portfolio, exactly. And then your stories, like stories are live for 24 hours. And you know, there's a little circle around your headshot or your profile picture, and there's a little dark pink circle around it. You click it and you have a story. So you can post on your story. I tend to do more of behind the scenes. These are pictures of me and my husband, or like pictures of me and the clients at the job, or they're cell phone photos, right? It's just whatever I have, wherever I'm at that day, I'm snapping a couple photos of what
Yeah.
I'm doing. If I'm working out in the morning, I'll take a picture of the weights and say, pressing play today. Did you press play? Right? So we can go into huge detail on how to get more engagement and all this stuff, but we're not going to go there today. I'm just going to kind of touch on a lot of these things. And maybe one of these days we'll do like a deep dive or something into these concepts. But stories, technically, they say you're supposed to do like 6 stories a day, which is a lot. I definitely try to do at least 3 to 4 days of stories, like, and a few a day when I do them. And you can go to your newsfeed and share your newsfeed post from that day onto your story. And then you can write little like words over it saying like new post, or you can say like ask a question or add like a poll or something, right? So that it kind of encourages people to engage with your story. Do you have anything to say, Neal?
Yeah, so I don't post as much as you do, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. Like, you got to start somewhere, right? So starting somewhere and posting, one time, whether it's all you ever did all week, at least you were doing something, but not don't get overwhelmed and not do anything, right? Is what I want
Right.
people to avoid. Rachel's built up to this, to this point. She didn't start there, right?
No.
So, but just so an overview for what you're doing right now, just so we get a full view of, let's look at a day and then let's look at a week. Can you give us,
Okay.
what are the total posts that you do and that you recommend doing?
Yeah, so I post to my newsfeed 3 days a week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I do stories. I try to do stories every day, anywhere from like 1 to 10 stories a day. On Tuesdays, I do Tip Tuesday on my story. It's kind of like my signature thing. And I just give a tip about growing your business or like how to feel comfortable on camera or how to prep a home for real estate photos, right? So I try to mix it up. It's not
Yep.
just tips about photos. I also did one recently on how to take a good selfie, lighting, natural lighting in your house. And I showed different examples and showed like side lighting and Rembrandt lighting and
Yep. I saw
like
that.
flat beauty lighting. Yeah. So it's kind of fun. It's a good way to get comfortable being on camera because the more people see you and hear you, the more they're going to trust you and the more they're going to want to hire you. So I encourage all of you to get out there and practice. One great way to do this is through Snapchat. So I started using Snapchat, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago, something. And I would record little videos of myself and send it to my friends, and it's just like you talking, whatever. But it's a great way to just start to hear yourself talk and start to
Yep.
kind of get comfortable. So it doesn't have to be a lot. You can even send little voice messages now on text message, on Instagram, on Messenger. So I always challenge my friends who are like kind of shy to be on camera. I'm like, send me a video message. I like send them one and I'm like, okay, now it's your turn. And
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, oh my gosh,
That's
this
cute.
girl,
Well,
this girl's crazy.
another thing too that you can do that I've done myself as well is a lot of people are very nervous getting started with social media because, and a lot of these are realtors and stuff that I talk to that know they should be on social media, but they're overwhelmed. They're afraid, honestly. They're afraid that they're going to mess up, that they're going to put something out there they didn't intend to go out, and that it's going to be embarrassing. Whatever, people are going to see it and think, oh, they don't know what they're doing. Everybody has that feel. I have that same fear. So what I did whenever I want to like practice with something or try something new or whatever, you can create kind of like what you're saying with Snapchat. You could create another account, a fake account, or you could, if you're not on TikTok yet, create some account with some name that has nothing to do with you. Nobody's even going to know you exist there unless you tell them you do, and just play around, make it a little sandbox where you can try some of these things. And that's why I started on TikTok. Now I know some people and they see my stuff but originally I didn't intend for anybody to see the TikTok stuff. I was just playing around and having fun and practicing, and I knew nobody was seeing it, so there's no harm, no foul. I make a mistake, I can delete it or not. And so that's something that I actually do with clients if they want to, is they can even play on my sandbox account, which is what I have one that's just a sandbox account. If you, hey, here, just make a video, use my phone or use my iPad and try it out. And there's no fear that anyone's going to see it because none of their friends are on this, random account that I've created. So it's another thing you can do to get some practice in and use the actual tools that you'll be using.
Yeah, to learn how to use them because there is a learning curve there for sure.
Yeah.
Even
And
using stories, there's a lot of different features to increase your engagement. Like you can add hashtags, you can add a
yeah,
poll or a question. There's stickers that you can add. So there's all these things that you can do and strategies to get more people to engage with you. The more people are engaging with your social media, the more people are going to be pushed. The algorithm will push more people towards you. So I think
right.
like a month ago, I had on average about 100 to 120 views per story. And this last week, it went up to like 189. The numbers have just been pushing. And I think it's because I've been consistent with posting on my stories.
How long would you say you've been consistent with doing those posts for that
It,
increase to happen?
gosh, I've been doing Tip Tuesday for a little over a year now, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Probably.
I think that's a good. Nobody ever talks about that. They're always like, "Hey, be consistent and keep doing it." But I think that people need to have a realistic expectation too. That it's not be consistent for 2 weeks or be consistent for a
Mhm.
month. You really do have to go at it for like 6 months or a year.
6 years.
You really have to go at
It's
it for
going to take
20,
6 years, guys.
20 to 30 years. And then, but like
It's
6
really the
months,
long game.
they might actually, a few months in, if they're really being consistent, they might start to see it. And then 6 months, they might really start to see more, maybe a year, definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And you start to get more followers too. So, which is nice.
And it
It's
sounds
cool to see
like
people
overwhelming,
follow
like,
you.
oh, I'm going to have to do that forever. Right. But I think once you start doing it and you just start a little bit at a time, and then you get more accustomed to it, and you get your kind of mind focused on, oh, the next time I'm at a listing appointment, I should make a point to just get a little quick video of myself. Then it becomes much easier to get more of this content once it's on the, tip of your tongue or whatever the saying is, right?
Right, right. And there's a strategy for that as well. Deciding what you're going to post and what you're not going to post on social media. Like pick 3 things that you have interest in. For me, it's working out, health and wellness. Mindset is a big one for me. You know me and my self-help books. I've read like 60.
She's got me
If
hooked
only
on
I
a
could
bunch.
speed read. That's the next book I'm reading, how to speed read. I want to read a book a day. No, I'm
I
kidding.
tried that once, but
That's
it took me too long to read it.
Oh, Neal. That's okay.
I'm serious though. It's true.
I read half of a book and then I put it away. Like, seriously, it's a problem.
I literally tried speed reading, but yeah, no, I gave up.
I'm going to finish the one I'm reading right now. It's really good. But anyways, yeah. So pick your interest. For me, what I say, working out, exercise, like eating somewhat healthy, right? Like taking your vitamins is important. Mindset is a big one. And my pets. And then also my business, right? Like behind the scenes of what I'm doing at my business on a day to day. Everyone likes to watch the drone fly. So sometimes I post a little video of the drone taking off, right? So yeah, and have fun with it. I mean, there's a lot of like funny memes and stuff out there from real estate that you can post. My husband sent me a video of a cat wearing a bra with coconuts in its bra, and it had like a wig on, and she was like doing a sexy dance. And then there was another cat whose eyes were like bugged out, like, oh, who is that girl? And I wrote Happy Friday. I try to post like funny little memes or videos of pets. Like, that's entertaining to me. It brings me joy and makes me feel happy. So why not share that with the world?
Yeah.
Right?
And I really think that's a big thing too, is that, you don't have to try and be somebody else. What's important is to actually be yourself, because trying to be something is going to get exhausting. But if you're just being genuine to things that you enjoy and the things that you like, then it's not going to be. And you're really going to be attracting the correct people who are like-minded and like you and like your personality. So you're building your client base of people that are your tribe. They're on board with you, and they're already like excited to meet you because they like everything that you post. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're vetting your right clients.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of trying to be something you're not, and then you're going to get those clients and you're not that person. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got the news feed 3 days a week. I got stories I try to do every day. Today, here's another tip for your stories. So if your clients post a picture of a house that you shot, a lot of times they'll tag you. So go to that post and then share it to your story and say new listing by, and then tag that client. And then they'll see that you tagged them, and they'll a lot of times repost that onto their story because they can now share it. If you tag them on your story, they can share it onto their story as well.
Right. But
so I do this with my husband. So my husband's a real estate agent as well and has his little real estate page. And I'll post a picture of us like shooting at the gun range. We go shooting usually every Wednesday. And so I'll take a picture, of us at the gun range, or like my target when I'm done and getting better.
Nice.
And then I'll tag him, and then I'll go into his phone. I'll say, give me your phone. And I like share that to his story and say like date night, something like that. So
but they have to be tagged, otherwise they can't do it. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So it's very important to tag people, especially, and that cross promotional stuff that you do will also, that picture that you took that your name is now associated with is now shared on their story, and they may have 1,000 followers. Right. And they might be like, wow, that's a great picture of a house. Who took that? Oh, it's Rachael Ann Photography. Awesome. I'm going to call her next time I have a listing. Exactly. So, and that literally has happened multiple times. So I've gotten quite a few jobs off Instagram. This year has been the year that my Instagram has really taken off. And that is since I made the switch to posting more personal stuff and more of my interests. So there really is a lot of power in social media, as long as you're there and you're showing up, you know?
Yeah. So. I really think that is the big shift with where the real power is because if it were like back in 1990, right, you just know who a realtor was that worked with your cousin or something like that, or you'd open up a phone book or something, right, and there'd be like 10 in your area. But now, you've got access to all the realtors out there. And I hate to tie this back to like acting stuff. When they're casting for a movie and they want a kid with freckles who's 12 years old, they're going to find a kid with freckles who's 12 years old. They're not going to find a kid who they can put freckles on. And it's the same thing with people. They want to look for an agent. Now they have access to all of these agents, right? They're going to gravitate to the one that they can relate to. So if you're putting yourself out there and they can relate to you, they're going to pick you over 10 others because you're the right fit.
Right. And I've had clients that have picked me because they like my social media. They're like, I love what you're doing. Like, how do you do it? They want to pick my brain about my marketing strategies and stuff. And I'm like, I just post my life. I don't know. I mean, there's some things I keep private, but for the most part, it's just like fun stuff. I don't post my kids that much, a little bit, but I don't go crazy with that. Okay, so we talked about newsfeed stories. So Reels is something new to me. I'm just kind of jumping on this bandwagon. So I'm trying to do Reels. Here's my hang up with Reels. So I need a good cover photo, right? Like you record a reel and then they tell you to have like a professional photo for the cover photo because when you post a reel, you can post it onto your newsfeed.
Hmm.
So my problem is I don't have those photos saved on my phone right now. Like I need to go to my computer, save a few of those pictures that I haven't used yet so I can use them for my reels. So that's kind of been like my disconnect and my hang up. Maybe I need to write that on my to-do list.
Yeah, I think,
Right?
and that's always
Easy
been my
fix.
big hang up with social media stuff in general is that all of the stuff that I normally do is on my computer, on a hard drive, and
Right.
not usually
Right.
on my phone. So now I use Android and I don't use an iPhone anymore. I haven't used one in years, so it's different. But one of the things I started doing was whether you do it every shoot you do or whether you do it like once a month and go through some photos and pull a couple down, is I've added some to a Google Drive folder
Mhm.
that's called social. And so from my phone, I can pull from the Google Drive folder to use those for posts and stuff. And that's helped me a little bit. But I don't know logistically exactly how to explain that works on an iPhone or if it does or doesn't. But that's
It
one of the
does.
things that I
It
do.
does. Yeah. I've used Dropbox for that too, actually. Like when I have a video that I want to post, you have to
Yep.
get that video onto your phone.
Yep.
So I've either emailed the video to myself or I put it into a Dropbox folder
Yep.
and then save it to my phone from there. And I have clients ask me all the time, like, how do I get this onto Instagram? How do I save it onto my phone? So you have to explain it to
Exactly.
them, which is
Exactly.
fine. You know,
Yeah.
you're just helping them out.
Yeah.
So yeah, reels are fun. I would say for me that my strategy with reels is I'm not trying to sell a product with my reels. I'm trying to have fun and show kind of like the lighthearted side of me. So I've been doing a lot of reels. Actually, I just said I don't really share my kids, but I do have a few on there with my kids that are
Yeah.
really fun. Like we just got crazy carts for Christmas. So we have, and we
Those are
just
awesome.
gutted our basement.
Those
So
look
we
so
have like
awesome.
this little course in our basement. We're riding around. So we made a fun little reel of that, and I don't know. It's just fun stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
not taking the reels too seriously and really trying to push what I'm selling. I'm more just living my life and showing that fun side of me. I really enjoy life and I love having fun. So I think it's cool to kind of show that side of it as well. Kind of that goofy,
Yeah.
nerdy side of me.
I think that Reels is a good place for having some fun and some personality coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can always, and you can tie in, you can tie into your brand stuff if it makes sense. I don't hit it as hard either. I more just have fun with those.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so I want to touch on your bio and what you put on your bio. I'm pulling up my Instagram right now and I just saw the cutest girls on, oh my gosh, these. So Upstaging Seattle, you have to follow them. They're two stagers and they are darling, these girls.
Oh,
They're
really?
always dressed to the nines. Yeah. One's from, well, I think they're both from Brazil, but one is like, she's only been here for maybe 10 years. I can't remember how long. But anyway, she has like the thick accent and they're just darling. So check them out. Upstaging Seattle.
This is the
And they just
power
had
of
like,
social media right here.
yeah, here we are.
Here we
And then
are.
we'll talk about our bio as soon as you look them up because they're super cute.
There they are.
There they are. And they always do fun reels. Like they're killing the reel game. So if you want to go get some inspiration, like go check them out. And their fashion is on point. We're actually meeting up next Friday and we're going to collaborate on like a little reel about fashion. So I'm excited. There they are. Yeah. They're so cute.
Love it. That's so cool.
be
Oh
great.
yeah, I'll have to check them out. Yeah, and that's
And
and
they're
I
all
mean
about like,
that's
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the other thing about, people are like, don't know if you don't know where to start with doing the social media stuff, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's great if eventually you get to that point where you're creating your own original stuff, but look up a couple people either in your area or in a totally different area, a totally different market that are not competitors of yours, and just see what they do and find somebody that you can relate to for what they do. They're already doing for their social media, and do some stories like them, do some reels like them, do some posts like them.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a real estate photographer either. It can be any industry, really. Any
Yeah, it
small
does. Yeah, it
business.
applies to anything. If you're, yeah,
Mhm.
whatever you are. Like, yeah, there's like I've watched cool posts for chiropractors, and they do some great stuff for reels, and it's really creative and stuff. And yeah,
That's an interesting one. I
yeah.
wouldn't think of a chiropractor.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. People, and that's another thing that people do. There's still this old consciousness of, well, business is serious. I have
Right.
a serious business, so I don't know if I can do silly reels or, yeah, there's chiropractors. And I can tell you what, if I wanted to go to a chiropractor, if I live, it's a different city, town, everything that he lives in. I think it's a different state even. But if I wanted to go to a chiropractor, I tell you what, I'd be leaning toward going to this guy because of these cool videos he does to help with stretching. He's doing like some dances and then he's doing some stretch. This guy's awesome. I would go to that guy.
That's
So
awesome.
it's funny though. People still kind of have that, like, they're afraid. I get it. They're afraid because of their business. They want to be seen as a professional. But it's kind of changing where we're really bringing more personality and our own selves into business. I think now is a big change.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so your bio should definitely explain like who you are, what your certifications are, your tagline if you have one, and then how to get more information from you. And then your website, the link that's on there, do not use Linktree. I know you probably see Linktree a lot. It allows you to click on the one link and then they can go to a bunch of different links from there, but you're not getting the SEO from that. So if they click on the Linktree and then they don't actually end up going to your website, they collect the SEO from that. You don't. I just learned this from my branding manager.
Well, explain that to me in layman's terms because I don't understand what that means that they don't collect the
so
SEO.
SEO is your search engine optimization. So it's when you go into Google and you type in real estate photographer, New Hampshire, you want to be in that top 10 list or that top 5 list, right?
Yeah.
So over
your
time,
website, when they go from there, from your Instagram, for example, to your website, if you use the link tree, your website isn't getting the benefit of.
It's not getting the credit on Google.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you have just your website on there, and then they can navigate from your website to everything else that you offer.
Yeah.
That's a better way to do it. So
okay, gotcha.
So have your website, keep it simple. You can go look at mine. Mine says Rachael Ann Adkins, photographer, videography, or photography, videography, FAA certified drone pilot, Seattle real estate and lifestyle photographer. Get it right the first time. That's my tagline. And then DM photos for more info. And then it just has my website. Okay, so the next section on your Instagram is going to be your highlights section. So this is the little circles underneath your like edit profile where you can add bits from your stories. So when you click on one, or there's a little plus button, I think at the end. Yeah, you can add a new one. You could name it like behind the scenes, and then it will pull up all the stories that you've ever posted. And you can add that story that you had posted behind the scenes to that little gallery. So for mine, I'll just tell you all my categories. Day in the life. So that's like me on site.
Tip
Always
Tuesday.
Tip Tuesday's on there. Yes. Interior video, QR code, Tip Tuesday, behind the scenes, and cool stuff. So cool stuff for me is like my kids golfing. There's like a vintage stove. It's just all kinds of, my son sticking his head through a window or a wall when we're like demoing the basement. There's like a shaved cat, a cool sign that I saw at a shoot that said, "Never mind the dog, beware of the owner." And it's someone holding a gun and pointing it towards you. It's a drawing. I actually bought that sign and I have them in my windows in my house now because I live on a pretty busy street. Like, that's awesome. I need this. So that was cool, you know? So you want to choose what you want to post, right? Like there is a lot of people who say never talk about religion, politics, or what's the other one? Religion, politics, and COVID,
And COVID.
nowadays.
If that's you and you go for it, then yes, you do stand the chance of losing all these people that don't agree, but you also stand the chance of gaining all these people that are proud of you for talking about
Right.
it. So everything comes with a trade-off, right, or a risk. So yeah, it's up to you. There definitely is a risk going into if you talk about politics, for sure you might cut your your audience in half, but your audience that's there might be just loyal to the end. Who knows? So it's tricky. It's tricky for sure.
But if you guys want some inspiration for stories of what to post, go onto my Instagram and look at my highlight reels and just kind of click through there, because those are all stories that I've posted of like my day-to-day and just things that I have going on. So it's a good way to get some ideas and understand kind of how I've done it.
I do like your little your layout though, of the little buttons like you're talking about too. That's one of those things on my list that I gotta get that organized and do that as well. I see a lot of people have that and it looks really nice when they've got it, your BTS, your Tips Tuesday and all that, and you've got the little icons that all look nice and everything. Something else I gotta do too, for sure.
Okay, so automation. So I know it's overwhelming when you think about like, oh my gosh, I have to literally get on my computer and post 3 days a week on my newsfeed. That's not going to happen. There is a way to automate it. There's a lot of, I'm just going to tell you straight to the point. Don't use those third-party systems. You can automate it right in Facebook Business. What's it called? Do you know what it's called? Oh my God, I don't know.
It is.
It's
Yeah,
the business suite. The business suite
yeah.
on Facebook. Sorry.
Facebook
Okay.
business / whatever it is. Yeah, I forget
Yeah.
now.
So the way I do my content, I have a social media manager, but I was not using her for the first 3 months this year. So I wrote and kind of created all my content myself. So I came up with the Google Doc, and then I wrote out if there was any holidays in January or February or March, I wrote out those holidays or like special promotions I was doing. And then I would write out what I wanted to focus on that month. So like building a cohesive brand, right? Or drone photography or how to shoot in the rain. So I'd have bullet points, right? And then I would come up with 12 different ideas. And then I go through each idea. And then that's where I write out the post and what the content is going to be off of each of those ideas. And then with that, I date those. So let's say one's dated 1/1, one's dated January 3rd, January 5th. And then I'll go through and look at all my photos that I have set aside in a separate folder just for social media posts that I've like collected along the way of, doing our day to day. And I'll use those photos and I'll rename the file name on that photo to match the date of the post. So for the content of like flying a drone will be on 1/1, then my file of the picture of a drone shot is going to be named 1/1. So then when I go into the Facebook Business Suite, you can copy and paste the content from your Google spreadsheet right into Facebook. And then you go to your folder and you just find the post that's dated 1/1 or the photo and upload that. You can schedule it. So you can share both to Instagram and Facebook directly from that Facebook Business Suite.
Yeah,
so it's really easy. And I think you can plan out a month and a half, almost 2 months in advance. You can schedule them.
It's business.facebook.com. Or you can search Creator Studio, Facebook Creator Studio. It'll come up. So I've got business.facebook.com/Creator Studio/home. But yeah, if you just Google Facebook Creator Studio, you'll find it.
So you'll have to have a personal Facebook account, and then you have to open a business account off of that. So you're going to be posting these onto your business Facebook account.
That's right. You can only schedule the ones that are going to you can only schedule ones for your business account.
You can link that to your Instagram as well. So it's a great way to automate it. I wrote a month of content in one day, which sounds like a long time, but I also had to I did some research. I was looking up cool real estate facts, and then I was making the graphics and then getting the pictures and pulling pictures from albums all over the place on my computer. So it was a little time consuming, but for one full day for me to plan a month's worth of content, I mean, it can be anywhere from $300 to $1,500 a month to have someone post for you and to create this content. So if you think of it that way, how much is your time worth, right? If you're paying $700 a month for your social media manager, is it worth $700 for you to sit down and do it for one day? How much money are you making in one day? So kind of evaluate it that way. And then once you get too busy and you don't want to do it anymore, you can hire someone on to do it for you. Even if you don't make that amount of money in one day, it might still be worth it for you to get that off your plate. And
you're using Canva for creating these posts as well?
Yes, for the graphics, I just use Canva. Yeah, just super easy. And
are you doing the free account with Canva, or are you doing the paid one?
I had the free one, but I upgraded. I don't know why. I think I wanted something, and it was $6. It was cheap.
No,
I was like, okay, that's not a problem. I can do that. I can do that. But yeah, so Canva, and then I bought a bunch of templates off of, I don't know what it was. I always get ads for things. Just talk about it near your phone and ads will start popping up on your social media. It's like magic. I don't know how they do it. That. I personally, I used to think it's a little creepy, and now I kind of love it because I just like talking to my phone. I'm like, social media templates, social media. Watch, I'll get them tonight.
You're gonna.
I'll be like, yay, new templates. Ooh. Sweet. So your Canva templates, you want to make sure that they're all cohesive, and you can buy templates. You can buy 20 templates or whatever. Just make sure when you buy the templates that you can find other templates that are similar enough so it looks like it's all a cohesive brand. You don't want to start with one set of templates and then in 3 months switch to another set of templates that feel a lot different. You can also go in and kind of edit those templates a little bit and delete and add lines and stuff to it. So there's a lot of freedom within Canva, and a lot of these templates are geared for Canva. So it's easy to go in there and change them and download them and whatever.
And
So
just so
it's
people
great tool.
know who don't know about social and don't know about templates, it's just like some different formatting and graphics and designs to add to your photos and such, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So it's got text. Like there'll be a little text box on there, maybe with like an inspirational saying, and you can go in and change that to whatever you want.
Yeah.
Some of them will have a little spacer for a photo, where you can drop a photo in and maybe it has like a frame around it or something that looks nice. So it's just a little bit more aesthetically pleasing than just posting a picture,
Right.
right? It kind of mixes it up. Yeah. Great for inspirational quotes or motivational stuff that you want to post. So let's talk about how this has changed your business, Neal. How has social media impacted your business?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's still growing for me because I haven't been serious about it until really this year, probably. I've been avoiding it like a lot of people have. I know I have to do it, but I'll do it later kind of thing. And so I really just started diving into it. But I can say that it has brought me clients, Also, something we didn't mention is, when you're on Facebook and if you want to do like a Facebook ad or something, a post that you do, you could turn into an ad. And I've done that only once, but I got a client out of doing that once for like $1. And that client I probably worked with 4 or 5 times since that. So, you
That's
know,
great.
there's definitely, money on the table there. So if you can start building your sort of network, building your fans, building your tribe of people that relate to you, it's definitely going to help. Outside of that too, I know that it helps my realtors, my agents. I've had a couple of them comment to me that they've gotten sales just because of content that they've put out on their social. Somebody saw it and they said, "We saw the video you did for that listing, and that's why we're calling you because we want you to do a video for our house." So it definitely works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I've gotten clients that way as well, for sure. I actually just got one last week. She's like, "Oh, I saw you on Instagram. I just love your presence." I was like, "Oh, thanks." It's such
Yep.
a compliment because I spend a lot of time there working on it.
Yeah. No, and
It's
your
like,
stuff
it's
looks great. So
good enough.
yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
we should all
Thank you.
strive to have the success that you're having. So
Thank you.
we'll fall in
Yeah,
your
and
footsteps.
you can do all of it yourself. You don't have to hire people
Mhm.
until you're ready. That's a big thing. It's like just get out there and start doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't get hung up on it being perfect. Just start putting stuff out there
Yeah.
and just start getting in front of that camera. That would be my biggest advice to you guys. And just be consistent. Even if you're only posting twice a week, at least you're doing twice a week, or once a week just to get going and just make it a part of your weekly habit or your daily habit to just work on your social every day. Just
Yeah.
kind of work it in.
Schedule it.
Yeah.
Put it on your calendar, right? Yeah.
Totally. Totally. So I think I touched on this a tiny bit on the stories part about tagging people. But I also want to talk about collaborating with other creatives. So there's a huge opportunity here to network with other people in different states. There's a lot of real estate agents who do this. They network with agents in different states. So when someone's relocating, they have an agent to send their clients to. So we have a lot of people in Washington that are moving to Montana, Texas, and Florida.
Hmm.
So if you know agents in that area, you can refer them to that agent in Florida and get a 25% referral fee for it. So kind of the same concept with real estate photography. If you have a photographer or someone in a different state and you know someone who needs photos in different areas, or even maybe the next town over might be more realistic than a different state, right? Maybe you collaborate with
Yeah.
a real estate photographer that lives 2 hours away. And like for me, I cover 3 counties, almost 4 counties right now. And I'm trying to expand even further. And I've got photographers kind of stationed all over that can handle shoots, an hour and a half south, an hour and a half east, and an hour and a half north from where I'm at. And my clients love that. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I have a shoot down in Olympia. Will you go to Olympia?" And I'm like, yeah, actually, I have a guy that lives in Centralia. Olympia, just to give you reference, is like almost an hour and 45-minute drive away from me.
Yep.
And then my shooter lives like 10 minutes from there. So
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah, so he can handle that whole south end, and it's just this great collaboration. So you can really meet people in all different areas. Social media gives you the power to go on and kind of vet these people and see what they're all about and get to know them a little bit before you reach out. So you can really qualify them before you even, decide if you want to reach out. Which is it's great to see their portfolio before you, waste your time if they are no good. You're not liking what you see.
Right.
So yeah, it's a great way to network. And also like I think I mentioned on the last podcast that I am going to be doing a mastermind group with another large photography company out on the East Coast. And we met through social media. So pretty cool there, that
Yeah.
now have someone that I can mastermind with who's not my competition in the area, where we
Right.
can share insider secrets and really help each other grow. And
Yeah.
it'll be cool to see the growth, and to help them in areas where they're weak, and they can help me in areas where I'm weak. So
It's very cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
There's
That's
a lot of
awesome.
power in social media. It's a really cool space to be in. I think the whole like paying for marketing, you used to have to market on billboards and print ads, and it was so expensive and so unattainable for small businesses. And now today,
Yeah.
you can do it yourself. Like it doesn't cost a fortune. You just
yeah.
have to know the strategies and understand how to do it and how
Yeah.
to get seen. So
Yeah.
start digging on Instagram.
Yeah, it's
There's so much
amazing. And then who knows how long it'll stay this way too. So take
Right.
advantage while you can, because who knows in
Mhm.
2 years, 5 years if that all changes. But right
We're
now,
going
yeah.
to the metaverse. Everyone's going to be in the metaverse.
The metaverse.
It's going to be wild. Living in VR goggles. Great. Those are not hot, Neal. VR goggles are not hot.
Really? That's a fetish, I think.
I'm sure they'll come out with some cute ones, but they're really
Some
not
cute
working
ones.
with my outfits.
Do you have
This
any
is not going to
cute
go
VR goggles
cute
for the
ones?
metaverse? I'm not going unless
Yeah.
it's cute.
I'm not going to your meeting unless they have cute goggles.
No.
But I could spend, $1,000 on my Gucci sweater for my avatar. That's weird. I'm buying your skin.
Yeah.
Oh, my
man.
gosh. It's like video games. It's so bizarre.
It is. weird.
Anyways. Well, that is all I have to say. If you have anything to add, Neal, please.
And that's why
Jump
the
in.
podcast is called
And I'm done.
Shooting the Shit.
That's all I have to say about that.
Well, no, I think that was awesome. And yeah, one more time, hit them up with your social media if they've got additional questions about any of this stuff that you covered today.
Yes. So Instagram is Rachael_Ann_interiors, and it's RACHAEL. And Facebook is Rachael Ann Photography, and website is rachaelannphoto.com.
Awesome.
Yes. And how about you, Neal? Go.
Well, I mean, if it's a social question they got you've got a head up, on me.
Yeah, but your reels are way better than mine. I'm trying to up my game. You're gonna help me, okay? But go check him out on TikTok. And the video that you're about video is like my favorite. Honestly.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously, it's
Thank
so
you.
good.
I appreciate that.
You got to make me one when I come visit you.
Yeah, heck yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, and for nothing else, check out the content. It's fun. Maybe get some ideas from us, and maybe we'll get some ideas from you. So like us, follow us, and we'll be checking your stuff out too. So you can find me, my website, nryphoto.com. If you're looking for me on social, at nryphoto will work for you. You can find me that way, nryphoto. Okay. And this has been Shooting
The Shit with Rachael
and Neal.
I always forget to say my name. Anyways, I hope you guys got a ton out of this episode. I can't wait to share more. Bye, guys.
See you on the next one. Bye.